Good morning and welcome to the Morning Outlook Report. I'm Rachel Jones, live from Kalkine TV Sydney studios. Now, the Australian share market is expected to fall once again this morning. According to the latest SPI futures, the ASX 200 is likely to open 34 points lower. That's 0.5% lower. This follows a poor night of trade on Wall Street as hawkish comments from the US Federal Reserve dominated investors' mood. Markets also weighed prospects of higher inflation following a phased ban of Russian oil imports by the European Union, which has lifted crude prices to new highs. Back home at the closing bell yesterday, the S&P ASX 200 closed 1% or 75 points lower at 7,211. Moving on to some business news from this morning now, and the National Australia Bank today completed the acquisition of Citigroup's Australian consumer business. NAB Chief Executive Officer Ross McEwen says the acquisition of the Citigroup consumer business supports their ambition to build a leading personal bank. NAB has set up a dedicated integration team to manage the transition of the Citigroup consumer business into NAB's personal banking division and subsequent integration of both businesses. The acquisition was subject to certain conditions, including approvals from the Commonwealth Treasurer, the Australian Prudential Regulation Authority and the Australian Competition and Consumer Commission. These approvals have now been received. Moving on, and Woodside Energy and the BHP Group have completed the merger of Woodside with BHP's oil and gas portfolio to create a global energy company. Woodside will receive net cash of approximately $1 billion, which includes the cash remaining in the BHPP bank accounts immediately prior to completion. This reflects $1.8 billion of net cash flows generated by BHPP between the effective date of the 1st of July 2021 and completion, less $0.8 billion representing BHP's entitlement to cash dividends paid by Woodside over the same period. A mining and metals company, South32, has successfully completed the acquisition of an additional 16.6% shareholding and related rights in Mozal aluminium from MCA Metals Holding, that's Mitsubishi. The final cash consideration of around $200 million reflects elevated cash and working capital adjustments at the acquisition date as the business continues to benefit from strong aluminium prices. Following completion, their shareholding in Mozal aluminium will increase to 63.7% with equity share of aluminium production. Well, now it's time for a short break, but stay tuned for more news set to affect your trading day. And welcome back to the Morning Outlook Report. Over on Wall Street, the Dow Jones fell 0.7%, the S&P 500 dropped 0.6% and the Nasdaq was down 0.4%. Over in Europe, the Stoxx 50 fell 1.4%, the FTSE rose 0.1% and the CAC dipped 1.4% with the DAX slipping 1.3%. The MSCI World Equity Index was down 0.61%. Oil prices turned negative yesterday after a report that some producers were exploring the idea of suspending Russia's participation in the OPEC Plus production deal. Brent crude futures for August settled down 1.7% at $115.60 a barrel after rising to $120.80 earlier in the day. Safe haven gold fell 1%, making it the second consecutive month of declines, pressured by a rise in the dollar and US Treasury yields that dented the metal's appeal despite concerns over surging inflation. Spot gold fell 1% to $1,837 an ounce. US gold futures fell 0.99% to $1,833 an ounce. Well, that's all for our Morning Outlook Report here on Kalkine TV. Have a great day trading. Stay tuned for more market updates and economic news live throughout the day. This is Rachel signing off for now.